Hey guys, welcome to another Schmovie Q&A. In the last Q&A, as you guys can see right here, I asked you guys a question. I asked, what is the hardest thing about being a teenager? You guys left lots of great responses, video responses, and comments and messages. First up, Ben shares some of his thoughts in a video response.
I think the hardest thing about being a teenager is trying to make everyone happy. You try to make one person happy, which makes someone else upset, then you have to make them happy, and then someone else gets upset with you. And then it's just a big cycle.
Trying to keep lots of people happy was definitely an ongoing theme in a lot of your comments and stuff. Here's one from Sarah. She says, I am 18. For me, peer pressure was never really a problem. I surrounded myself with good friends who were drinking or doing drugs. For me, the hardest part is not trying to disappoint anyone, and that can be impossible at times. I've realized that not only can I not please everyone, but if I focus on pleasing everyone else, I may not be doing what's right for me, and even though I know that it makes me feel like a failure when I disappoint someone. Along with that are some of the expectations that people hold for you guys as teenagers, maybe sometimes you think are totally unrealistic. Here's someone who says, everyone has a dream for you, and when you fail it, they get very disappointed, which stinks, plus many stresses of trying to reach it. And 2 months until this person's 13 years old. Another one from another person says, expectations. I worry that if I tell everything to my parents, they will stop being proud of me. That is really deep, man. I totally respect you for sharing that. And along with those expectations comes the pressure from society and your peers to try to fit in and be a certain way. Here's a student, 17 years old, says, commented on this video saying, I'm 17 years old and I think the hardest thing about being a teenager today is staying out of all the bad things. Here's my personal example. I'm a straight A student, have always been. I am not popular, but I have a good amount of friends, and I have a good support system and good communication with my family and those who are close to me. Even though, and I have all these things, I have allowed myself to get sucked into the world and the bad things of school, like drugs, violence, etc. It goes on to say, I honestly feel dumb for allowing myself to fall into that world, but it happened. The reasons, I think, were that I just felt like I wanted to fit in, and that it would seem like I was the cool kid who wasn't just all goody-goody and everything, but I was willing to take risks and let loose and have fun. Also, I was going through some emotional points at that time that most teenagers go through, you know, with parents and appearance, who I was, pressure, stress in life. And basically, people promise you that drugs are an escape. There were some other responses as well that had to do with some other things. For example, Abigail says, I'm 17. I think the hardest thing we deal with is body image and the stress to look perfect. Again, those expectations that you just feel are upon you. I'm 15. People being immature and starting rumors that aren't true at all. That's one of the hardest things about being a teenager. There are many more comments that you guys left, and check out the video in the description below. I'll link to our previous Q&A video so you can read more if you'd like. But as a guy who's been working with teenagers and families for the past 12 years and a guy who's been there myself, I'd like to give you guys a little piece of advice if you don't mind. The reason a lot of people are going to pressure you to do things that you don't want to do is because they know inside that it's not right, something that they shouldn't be doing, and so they try to pull other people in to join them in what they're doing so that they feel okay about what they're doing, even though they know it's wrong. And what happens is, ironically, for the people who stand up for themselves and say, no, I'm not going to do that, the people who pressure inside usually develop a lot of respect for that person because they wish they had the guts to stand up and say no and do what's right. Sometimes it doesn't feel like respect because they might make fun of you more, they might make your life just a living hell just because they're inside. Personally, they won't tell you this, but they're just so envious that they wish they could be like you. And maybe sometimes they haven't even really identified themselves. That's what's going on. When problems come to that person's life and they start looking for someone saying, hey, I need someone to talk to, 9 times out of 10, the person that they're going to trust, look up to, respect, and go to the most is the person who would not join them in the things that they were pressuring them to do. So sometimes they come off against you even harder than they did before, making fun of you, teasing you, turning your friends against you, making you feel worthless because they're trying to compensate to make themselves feel better. So keep that in mind. I know it doesn't make it necessarily a lot easier when you're in the situation, in the middle of it. Does that make sense? I hope so. So for the next video, it's your turn to ask me questions. You can ask a question for the next video by leaving a comment below this video here on YouTube, or check the description below this video on YouTube for my Twitter and Facebook accounts so you can connect with me there as well. If you guys like this going back and forth format, you know, where one video I ask you guys a question, you respond to the next video, you ask me questions, and we go back and forth like that, let me know what you think. Leave a comment below, and if you haven't subscribed to my videos here on YouTube yet, make sure you click the little subscribe button above, and that'll notify you each time I release a new video with my vlogs and Q&As and anything else I decide to upload to this channel. And I'll see you guys next time for another Q&A video post. Talk to you later. Bye.